Hi. Wearing a turtleneck today. Sort of. It's not tight at all. In fact, I'm grateful for that. This thing can protect my entire face from the weather. Look at this. It goes like over my head. Warning to any parents or whatever. This is gonna be an episode I'm smoking in. Because. Don't even ask. It's just because. But I actually got thinking. I was watching MatPat, the one about Game of Thrones where he figures out exactly how drunk everyone is, or a couple of people are. And he mentioned a difference between women and men. Biological difference, by the way. That actually, it brought up an interesting thought. Men have more capabilities for muscle mass. Women have stomachs and childbirth. Or breasts and childbirth. Yes, my breasts go pretty damn low. So, I was thinking, how much do the breasts affect what your weight is? Hang on. So I figure, I'm going to do a little bit of math. Nothing extreme, nothing that's going to take forever. Last time I weighed myself, I was somewhere between 210 and 220 pounds in total. This is all of me. So, I remember a while back, at the request of a man, actually, who I was rather fond of, I weighed one of my breasts. It came out to 20 pounds. 20 freaking pounds. So if I take the weight of, let's just go with 215, just to cut in the middle there, and I take away the combined 40 pounds of just my breasts, what do I end up with? If I didn't have these, if I was a male with literally everything else the same, if I didn't have these, what would my weight be? Let's see. 40 minus 15. Let's start there, because I'm trying to get to the 200 mark. Would end up, you know what? I want to do this on paper. I just don't want to bother to get a pencil. 215 minus 40. The 5 from the 15 would just carry down because it's 40. That's a 0 that we're subtracting there. So there's a 5 there. There's a 1 in the second place. So I have to slash out the 2, carry that 1, which makes that an 11 subtract 4. 4, 10. That's 7. Okay, so we have 75 at the moment at the bottom there. Which means that my weight would technically be 175 pounds. Roughly. Again, I'm rounding, I'm not exactly doing the math on paper. And I'm a bigger person. I am a bigger girl. I am 5'5", and honestly, I think I have a fair-sized stomach. I'm not the biggest girl I've seen. Not by a long shot. And some men get really big. But without the weight of my breasts, yes, I would still be overweight. But it'd only be probably at most about maybe 180 if I underestimated my weight. I like that number. I'm not gonna lie, I like that number. And muscle weighs more than fat, which is primarily what the breasts consist of. Which means my muscles won't make me any heavier than I am. Like, maybe a pound or two through density. But women have more ability to build strength rather than mass for muscles. It evens out at that point. But I have to think, are these massive muscles the only thing that drives a man's weight through the roof? Kind of like women's breasts? Like breasts we can't do much about. I mean, there's surgery, but that's really not much of an option for a lot of people. Move this somewhere more comfortable. But men, they have specific exercises and diets that they can work with. They don't have to have surgery to get these muscles to go a little bit thinner or denser or anything to make them not so massive. They have more to work with. So I was thinking, maybe if you're uncomfortable with your weight, maybe a good thing to do for women is to weigh your breasts, at least one of them, as accurately as you can, and men perhaps take into account the amount of your weight that's muscle. And you can use that number to say, hey, this is weight that's either healthy or I can't do anything about. So your weight without that would be your technical weight. Of course, when they're doing the doctor's office and stuff, they do go with the whole weight. There's also fat percentages and stuff. So if you really want to know exactly where you land and whether you should even do anything about it, you should probably ask a doctor. But for women, it's like, not much we can do about this. Plenty we can do about the stomach. Even the butt. There are several things you can do about the butt. It is mostly muscle. But these are just limp bags of tissue. I'm going to say tissue because I'm not entirely certain what's in them. I just know you can't really change them with a specific exercise or anything. But yeah, it's a cool thing. Something to consider. Also, something to consider is density. I mentioned it briefly before. Muscles for women tend to lean more towards the density side, I think. Like we have strength that we can work on, we don't really bulk up so easily. Any women bodybuilders? Whoo, you got my admiration, because damn does that take work. Whew. Because of genetic differences, women do have a more difficult time building muscle mass. My advice to any women trying to get strong, don't go for mass. Don't go through the stuff that the guys do. Look at it as, hair in the mouth. Look at it like this. You need muscle strength and preferably endurance. Oh, I miss my endurance. Because with endurance, you can handle a lot more than other things. And since we go more towards muscle strength than muscle mass, we have more potential to be the fast types. Like if in marathon runners. Guys have a hard time of it. Because they have a tendency to build muscle mass, which essentially makes their bodies bigger, which means that they have more wind resistance. Women can have more muscle strength, and provided you don't have these. As large, at least, is what I got. God, I hate my breasts. Then you can have less wind resistance, and it takes less strength to go just as fast. Although men do have some very enviable advantages. Like, they tend to be taller, they tend to have more encouragement to be athletic. Yeah, I'm pointing fingers on that one. Mostly towards parents and teachers. Like, my dad was always supportive, to an extent. If I had asked him, I probably would have been able to make it to, like, a karate class or something. But the teachers, they fucked up. They fucked up big. When I asked to learn how to fight, for my sake, it's not even for their sake, it was my sake, something I wanted to do. I asked to learn how to fight. They sent me to a self-defense class. Oh, just poke him in the eye and run. Not cool, teachers. Not cool. Ugh. This sweater makes my face look slimmer. Don't have a neck, but... So yeah, I do have I'm considered obese. One of these days you'll probably end up seeing my stomach involved in this. But I'm considered obese. I'm only just over 200 pounds. Seriously. That's considered obese? It's like, oh. Double standards, people. If a man is 200 pounds, he's not considered obese. He is considered masculine, although he does have his height to his advantage and most of it's muscle. Men don't have a necessity to not gain weight, biologically. Women have a necessity to gain weight. We have the freaking babies. So, of course, even without medical problems in the way, I'd still have some issues there. But I'm hitting my limit, so consider this. These don't make you a fat person. I weigh as much as someone who's like... Actually, someone with less breast and more stomach would still weigh the same as me. But think about it. Maybe it'll help you feel better. Later.